StrayAllDay.com.
You're now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques all underneath the umbrella of one unified philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is stop wasting time on zero money activities. That is the topic here today. Before we get started, I want to remind you of a couple things. If you're watching on video, you can see my son's little head poking out here to my right. He is watching some TV while I'm recording. We still got to get the job done. And two things. That was not one of the two things. One of them is my daily motivation and Monday motivation text messages, guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point to start your day or your week, respectively. Once we start sending those again, you're going to want to receive them because they do exactly what I just said they do. Text me at my number, 305-384-6894. And as soon as we start sending those again, you are already going to be on the list and you'll already be getting them. It is free to join the community. So again, text me, number down below in the description. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. That's a place where all my coaching happens. If you would like to get access to all of our courses, all of our frameworks, you get access to my mind. If you would like to be able to pick my brain, as some people like to say, pick your brain and be able to ask questions, get help with your challenges, get strategic direction as to what you are doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, when and where you are doing things. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. You can see everything that we're laying out and what we're doing in our program and get direct access to me starting today. Again, workonyourgameuniversity.com, link down below. Second, and that is the second thing. So now let's get into the topic, which is stop wasting time on zero money activities. So let me explain to you what I mean by this, because this is not a metaphor. All right. It is specifically and crucially important for your salespeople rather, and all of you who are entrepreneurs, especially if you are the main money driver and money collector in your business, that you need to make sure that you are spending a significant amount of conscious and intentional time, or intentionally and consciously spending a significant amount of your work time on money driving activities, not zero money activities that you know are zero money activities, even though you may need to do them, even though you may enjoy doing them, even though you may be good at doing them. Understand that if you are the main money driver in your business, you can't spend all your time on things that you enjoy and that you're good at if they are not money driving activities, because those things are not going to make you any money and therefore you will no longer have a business. So let's get into it. Point number one. Topic, once again, is stop wasting time on zero money activities. Number one, what are the main activities that directly drive money in your business? Let me ask the question again. What are the main activities that drive money in your business? You must have an answer to this question. You must know what these activities are. What are the things that when you're doing them, they directly lead to money going into your pocket, into your account? What actions, when completed to your satisfaction, lead to an immediate result of money going in your account? So, for example, if you are in sales, a direct sales conversation with a qualified prospect, that usually leads to what? If you have any idea what you're selling, you know how to sell your stuff, it usually leads to what? Somebody saying yes, and that means they give you money and you give them the product or service, and that is a money driving activity. That's what I mean when I say, what are the activities that directly drive money in your business? That means doing sales calls for you. If I just described you, that means doing sales calls is a money driving activity in your business. Everybody understand what I'm saying here? If you are a person who has an OnlyFans page, for example, you're a girl with an OnlyFans page and you do nudes and you do whatever other stuff that you can do on OnlyFans. Don't ask me, I am not a customer. But if you do anything on OnlyFans that drives, or the things you do on OnlyFans drive money because you have subscribers and you have people who patronize and pay you tips and stuff to watch your OnlyFans, right? Every time you do an active live stream, let's say if you do it on Twitch, if you're an active live streamer and people will sit there for 2-3 hours and watch you play a video game. I didn't know that was a thing, but that's a thing. People watch you play video games. Then both of you, the OnlyFans girl and the Twitch streamer, you understand that every time you go live, people pay you tips or they patronize you financially in some way while you are doing that live stream, right? So what is that? That is a money driving activity. You know, every time you go live, that's driving your money, which means you need to put the money driving activity of going live on your calendar as a priority. Why? Because that's where the money comes in. Everybody follow what I'm saying here? So those live streams are a direct driver of money for your business. If you're a salesperson, getting on a sales call with a qualified prospect is a direct driver of money for your business. I told you a couple episodes ago that I sat and made 20, 30 sales calls in an afternoon. Why? Because those are direct money driving conversations. When I get somebody on the phone, I know I'm talking to a person who has the ability to give me money. Now I just need to make sure, okay, is this the right fit? Am I the right person for them? As soon as I find out the answer is no, then the conversation ends. And they want to end it too. So it's not like either one of us is doing what the other one doesn't want to do. If I'm the right person, they want to talk, I want to talk. So we're helping each other. Okay, this is a form of a strategic partnership where money just happens to be being exchanged, but it's the same thing. So when you know what the money driving activities are in your business, you need to strategically position yourself to do as many of these activities as possible. One way that you do this is by putting them on the calendar. You need to put time to make sales calls on the calendar. You need to put time for your live streams on the calendar if that's a way that you make money. Whatever the thing is that makes money for you, you need to put that on the calendar. And this thing is often not always the easiest or most fun thing to do, but it is the money driving thing to do. And if the easiest and most fun thing is also the money driving thing, well, congratulations to you. That's not often the case. But if it is the case for you, great. Just make sure you're doing it consistently. All right, you have to be doing this. If you're not doing it, you are doing a disservice to your business. You are committing financial and business malpractice. Point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is stop doing zero money activities. Set yourself up to do less of the activities that are not putting money in your pocket. Again, pay attention to my verbiage here. Set yourself up to do less of the activities that are not putting money in your pocket. Doesn't mean that those activities don't happen. It just means you're setting yourself up to do less of them, you personally. See, all entrepreneurs, especially those of us who are creators, all you ambitious entrepreneurs, especially creators, we tend to spend a lot of our resources doing things that do not directly drive money without ever asking ourselves if we need to be doing them at all. So yes, some of these activities do set us up for the next step that set us up for the next step. Yes, some of those are that. And they set us up for the step where the money does actually get made. That doesn't mean every single thing you're doing is setting you up for that. Not everything. There may be some things, and you need to strategically break these things down and really get a clean analysis of which things actually lead to the money and which things are not. And which things are indirectly leading to the money and which things are not. Because it ain't everything that you're doing. Most entrepreneurs, if you ask them, hold their feet to the fire, they'll try to tell you everything they do leads to the money. That's bullshit. No, it doesn't. Only some of the things you're doing directly lead to the money, but you have to know what they are. So yes, sometimes the activities are, but again, you got to get a clean analysis. This is the reason why I have a coaching program. So when you are in my program, we're going to look at the things that you're doing right now. And if you're doing 16 things a day and none of them are money driving, some of them may be leading to the money. So 4 of them we're going to keep because these things actually do lead to what leads to the money. These other 12, they got to go. Some of them we're going to pass off to someone else. Some of them we're going to batch and get them all done at the same time by some AI or by another person. And some of them we're just going to drop and you're not going to do any more at all because they're not actually doing anything. They just feel good to you to do them, but they're not actually producing a result. In other words, business masturbation, business CrossFit is what you're doing. We're not doing that anymore. So you need to know, again, which is which. We need to closely examine and ask ourselves if we even need to be doing certain activities at all. And a great epiphany that all human beings, hopefully all of you get to experience, is when you realize that some of the things that you've been putting a lot of your resources into doing, you don't need to be doing at all, like zero. You can just completely drop them and it won't make any difference. That's a great day when you finally figure it out. The challenge is some of you are carrying a bunch of stuff that you don't need to be doing at all, but you keep doing it because you haven't had this epiphany yet, because you haven't had anybody actually point it out to you and explain to you why doing the thing that you're doing is completely useless, because you don't understand it. You haven't had anybody else explain to you for you to understand it. Therefore, you just keep doing it. So right now, you're still stuck in purgatory. Good news is, I just told you at workonyourgameuniversity.com, that's where you need to go. Workonyourgameuniversity.com. Again, workonyourgameuniversity.com. I will help you get over this problem because many of you have this problem. Trust me. I've run into enough entrepreneurs to know that a lot of you have this issue and you need the insight to understand why you need to drop certain activities. So I will share with you that you got to be careful when you make these decisions. And again, this is why I suggest professional help, because not every step to drive revenue is immediate and directly going to be a one-step thing. See, not everything that makes you money is a one-step process. Sometimes it's a 3-step process or a 6-step process. So you have to know what steps go where in the process, but you have to actually have a process. Again, my experience with a lot of entrepreneurs is that they don't have a process. They are just randomly doing things and hoping that it works out. And then when it doesn't work out, they're wondering what the problem is. Well, the problem is that you never had a thing in the process. You were just doing random stuff. There was no process. That's the problem. There's no process. That's the biggest problem. Not that you need to fix your process, that you need to get a process and one that actually works on top of that. So sometimes people need to go through multiple steps before they're ready to make a decision with you. For example, if you sell houses, doesn't mean that you should reduce all your business to the activity of just doing a contract signing meeting, because you're probably not going to get too many of them if you don't do the other stuff. You got to do the marketing, you got to do the open houses, you got to show the houses, you got to do meetings to get listings. All of those things lead to the contracts where you actually get the conversion and somebody signs something, you get some money and they make some money and everybody wins. All right. In other words, you need to understand the mechanics of your business and the principles that drive the mechanics of your business and what actually makes your business work. And again, one of the challenges I noticed with a lot of entrepreneurs is that they don't understand the underlying principles of business, period. Let alone do they understand how those principles apply to their business. Let alone do they have actual mechanics that they understand for how their business works and why it works a certain way, so that they know what they should be doing more of, what they need to be doing less of, and what, if they could have it their way, they would do the most of. Many entrepreneurs don't have an answer to that question because they don't understand the principles or the mechanics. Therefore, they don't have a strategy. And this is why many people find themselves lost, because they just don't know what they don't know. Everybody understand what I'm saying here? So if you misdiagnose this, or you just fail to diagnose it, like you got a broken arm, but you never go to the doctor, well, that's not going to help you. All right, you're going to mess up this entire process, and your bone's going to grow back abnormally, and it's not going to look good for the rest of your life. Everybody get what I'm saying here? Good. Point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is stop wasting time on zero money activities. Number 3, know what your seed planting activities are and have them consistently baked into your schedule. What is a seed planting activity? It is an activity that, when done consistently, leads to more money driving activities in the future. But that activity does not make you any money in the moment. So a seed planting activity is an activity that definitely, absolutely does not make you any money in the moment when you're doing it. But the more of it you do, it puts you in position to make more money in the future. That is a seed planting activity. I'll give you some examples of seed planting activities. Now, I go to a conference, for example, or I read a book, or I consume material from a course that I have purchased. None of those actions make me money. They actually cost me money, and they actually cost me time. When I go to a conference, it costs me time. I got to travel there. I got to pay for a hotel. I got to pay for the ticket. I got to pay for the food. I have the opportunity cost of what I'm not doing because I'm sitting in the conference room all day instead of actually doing work. It costs me a lot to go to a conference. But those are seed planting activities, because what happens at those conferences is that I get information and insights that will help me do my business better. I get to meet people who may become strategic partners. I get to serve people, possibly. I get to meet people who I can possibly serve, who maybe later on become clients and customers. All of those things are the seeds that I plant for the future of my business. So doing those things, even though it costs me a lot to go to the event, it makes me smarter, makes me more connected. It provides me insights that later on produce returns on investment in the form of revenue. So you have to know what the seed planting activities are for your business. What are the things that are the planting of seeds? Do not consider these zero money activities, because that's not what they are. These are actually the planting of seeds. What are those things for you? One of those things for me could be meeting with my ad guy, the guy who basically runs the ads, or I got more than one person who runs ads, but a person who runs some ads for us. Meeting with him, having a conversation with him, is a seed planting activity. It doesn't make me any money to talk to this guy. I'm paying this guy, as a matter of fact. And it's costing me time to talk to him. So I'm not doing anything that can make me money while I'm talking to him. But we get those ads running right, that's going to lead to me having more sales conversations with qualified prospects, which, because I know how to sell, is going to lead to more closes, which leads to more money, and everybody wins. So that's a seed planting activity. But that doesn't mean every single thing you do is a seed planting activity. Again, you need to know what is and what isn't. And there may be some things in your schedule that are not even business related, but you still need to do them. For example, I don't get paid anymore for doing anything athletic based. So when I go to the boxing gym a few times a week, I don't get paid to do that. And I probably will never get paid to do anything that has anything to do with boxing. I do not get paid to go outside and run, or paid to run in the 10K race. Even if I win, I don't get money for winning the race. But there is no way, absolutely no way, that I'm going to take working out of my schedule. That's not happening. It's a non-negotiable for me. So you need to know what your non-negotiables are, even though you know they don't make you any money. All right. So what are those things for you? Again, those you can call seed planting activities as long as they're productive activities. Now, if you're a drug addict or you like watching Netflix, those might not even be productive activities for you in your life. You need to know what they are. Whatever they are, make sure everything has a category. Everything on your calendar over the course of a day, you should have a solid reason for why you're doing it and be able to explain to yourself or someone else why you're doing this, why it makes sense, and why you're going to keep doing it. And if you can't, then you might need to eliminate it. Everybody follow what I'm saying here? Good thing is you can always make adjustments to what you're doing in your schedule, but you need to be clear on why everything has a place in your schedule. Because as we've been talking about a couple of days ago, when we did that series on deadlines, is that we have a limited amount of time here. So your time should never be being wasted in ways in which you cannot explain why you are using it in that way. Let's recap today's class, which is stop wasting time on zero money activities. Number one, what are the main activities that directly drive money in your business? You must know what these are. There's usually maybe only sometimes one or two, maybe sometimes three things, but for the most part, it's not many more than that. You just need to know what they are. Number two, set yourself up to do less of the activities that don't put money in your pocket and more of the stuff that does. And again, you need to get clear on what these things are. Just look at every activity you've done over the last 72 hours and put them all in the categories. Is it making me money or is it not? And it's a binary, black or white, no gray. Number three, know your seed planting activities. These are the things that lead to you making money, and they are useful to be doing. And notice that some of these things that are not money activities, but they lead to the money making, is not going to be everything that's on the no money list is going to be a seed planting activity. Some of them will, but many of them will not. Those are the things that have to go somehow. And the seed planting activities, you need to start doing those more strategically because they're setting you up for the money making activities. All that said, make sure you text me so you're in my community. My number is 305-384-6894 is down below in the description. Also, if you want to learn how to put all of this stuff that I'm talking about here to good use in your business, in your life right now with my direct help so that you know you're doing it the right way, you know you're doing it cleanly, and you're not going to have to do this over and over again because you messed it up, go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Have me as your direct coach. You can have me as a group coach. You can have me as your personal coach. You can even have us do all your stuff and put it all together for you. We have options for all three. Just go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Link is down below in the description. And we'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Work on your game. Dre, all